10 Best Action Movies if you love the Reacher TV show. Reacher's third season has just drawn to a close, and plenty of viewers are in agreement that it was the show's strongest outing yet. Not only did the season further develop all the compelling character dynamics from previous episodes, but it also raised the stakes in ways that most shows wouldn't dare save for their third series. Reacher Season 3 clearly surpassed expectations, and it's left many audiences looking for another gripping action project to fill that hole. Thankfully, there are plenty of great movies from the past few decades that either directly inspired Reacher or just sit comfortably in the same genre. There's been a clear increase in dynamic, ultra-stylized action movies in recent years that Reacher shares many similarities with, but the show also has a very grounded story that places its characters above all else. That's exactly why Reacher Season 3 worked so well, but it's certainly not the only project to do that. The Equalizer is the first movie in Antoine Fuqua's acclaimed action trilogy, following Denzel Washington's protagonist Robert McCall as he tracks down a group of criminals to save a young girl he suspects is in danger. The film is brimming with sharp action sequences and engaging characters that elevate it beyond the sum of its parts, with Fuqua's screenplay exploring such potent themes as power, selflessness, and masculinity in fascinating ways. While audiences can argue about which of the sequels, if any, lives up to the heights of this first movie, nothing can take away from this action spectacle. The Jason Bourne franchise is another one of the most influential action series in recent memory, and The Bourne Identity is where everything started. It may not strictly be the best Jason Bourne movie, but it's certainly the best place for newcomers to start. Its storytelling is also the most similar to Reacher's, blending high-stakes espionage with grounded character work that refrains from keeping the audience at a distance. Bourne is such an easy figure to relate to, and he shares many of the stoic values that make Reacher such a compelling protagonist. Ultimately, those who are enjoying Reacher shouldn't have to look much further than Christopher McQuarrie's cinematic adaptation of the books for something to scratch the same itch. While the picture is widely considered less creative and more saturated than Amazon's hit series, it's still a brilliant action movie that features one of Tom Cruise's most charming performances ever. The film is a loyal adaptation of One Shot, the ninth book in Lee Child's series of novels, and widely considered one of the most engaging. Prime Video's Reacher series has become a standout in the world of gritty action thrillers. With its brutal hand-to-hand combat, lone wolf protagonist, and stripped-down storytelling, it scratches the same itch as classic action cinema, only with modern polish. If you've binged every episode of Reacher and are craving more bone-crunching fights, no-nonsense heroes, and conspiracies waiting to be unraveled, you're in luck. These 10 action movies deliver the same raw, masculine energy and should be next on your watch list. 1. Jack Reacher 2012. It would be criminal to not include the Tom Cruise-led Jack Reacher film. While it's tonally different from the Prime series, Cruise's Reacher is sleeker and less physically imposing. It still captures the core essence of Lee Child's character, a relentless investigator with a strong moral compass and an even stronger punch. The snappy dialogue, clean action choreography, and old-school mystery plot make it a solid companion piece. 2. The Equalizer 2014. Denzel Washington's Robert McCall is basically Reacher with a suit. A quiet man with a mysterious past and a lethal skill set, McCall doesn't look for trouble, but he finishes it decisively when it comes his way. What sets The Equalizer apart is its surgical precision. McCall's fights are strategic and brutal, much like Reacher's. The film's mix of noir mystery and slow-burn justice makes it feel like an extended Reacher episode with more blood. 3. Taken 2008. If Reacher is about righteous justice, Taken is about vengeance. Liam Neeson's Brian Mills is a former operative whose daughter is kidnapped in Paris. What follows is a relentless pursuit through the underworld, with tight action sequences and quotable lines. Mills, like Reacher, is calculating, merciless, and always one step ahead. It's lean, mean, and delivers the same one-man versus the system vibe. 4. John Wick 2014. While Reacher is grounded in realism, John Wick amps up the stylized violence and creates its own mythos. Still, the similarities are undeniable: a lone warrior, military background, efficient combat style, and a personal code of honor. Reacher fans will appreciate Wick's tactical fights, gun-fu choreography, and unrelenting drive. Plus, both characters share a love of silence. When they talk, it matters. 5. Man on Fire 2004. This underappreciated Denzel classic combines emotional depth with blistering action. Washington plays Creasy, a bodyguard seeking revenge for a kidnapped girl. Like Reacher, he's haunted by his past and uses violence only as a last, albeit spectacular, resort. The Mexico City setting, intense emotional beats, and methodical dismantling of a criminal enterprise will resonate with anyone who loved Reacher's darker storylines. 6. Shooter 2007. Mark Wahlberg's Bob Lee Swagger is a military sniper framed for an assassination. What follows is a paranoid, high-stakes game of survival and revenge. Shooter captures the same man versus machine tone as Reacher, one highly capable man against corrupt forces. With tight pacing and clever tactical moves, it's a thinking man's action thriller, just like Reacher at its best. 7. Nobody 2021. Bob Odenkirk might not look like a typical action hero, but that's part of the genius. Nobody plays like Reacher on Caffeine. A suburban dad with a dangerous past finally snaps and unleashes violence with shocking precision. The fight scenes are rough and grounded, echoing Reacher's style. The film also balances deadpan humor with unexpected heart, making it a refreshing take on the lone hero formula. 8. Out of the Furnace 2013. Not a traditional action film, but one with an intense emotional weight and slow-burning tension. Christian Bale stars as a steelworker who investigates the disappearance of his brother in a decaying Pennsylvania town. While the action is minimal, it hits hard, and the themes, small-town decay, brotherhood, justice, overlap with Reacher's Season 1 arc. It's gritty, atmospheric, and laced with the same quiet rage. 9. Sicario 2015. More of a psychological thriller, Sicario is a masterclass in tension. Emily Blunt's FBI agent is dragged into the morally gray world of cartel warfare, guided by Josh Brolin's smirking operative and Benicio del Toro's chilling hitman. While Reacher is about brute strength, Sicario is about power plays and hidden agendas. Still, fans will appreciate the silent stares, shocking violence, and the sense that justice isn't always clean. 10. The Accountant 2016. Ben Affleck plays Christian Wolf, a brilliant but socially withdrawn accountant with deadly combat training. He uncovers financial crimes while also taking down armed mercenaries, not unlike Reacher solving mysteries while cracking skulls. The balance between methodical investigation and sudden violence feels lifted from the Reacher playbook. Plus, Wolf's minimalism and outsider perspective parallel Reacher's loner sensibility. Honorable mentions: Hell or High Water for fans of Reacher's small-town crime roots. Extraction for intense close-quarters combat. Prisoners for a darker psychological mystery with a ticking clock. A Walk Among the Tombstones, another great Neeson thriller with a noir vibe. Conclusion: Reacher thrives on a few key ingredients: a morally grounded yet deadly protagonist, tight storytelling, brutal fight choreography, and a world where justice is often personal. These 10 movies, whether they lean into gritty realism, stylized violence, or